Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. I know I've actually taken a little bit of time off from making my previous video, but I found actually a little bit of free time in my schedule right now, and I thought I'd make a little bit of a different video for you guys, okay? And it's actually going to be about the top 5 things I don't like about the Breville Bambino, okay? And I have my handy dandy iPad over here just to kind of collect my thoughts and just kind of tell you guys things I don't like about it. But this is just a disclaimer also that I actually really love this machine. I wouldn't change it for the world in terms of me purchasing this machine again, but these are just slight oversights and inconveniences that I've felt as a consumer personally spending my own money on this machine, and just like the slight little inconveniences that I have found personally with it. And maybe as a consumer looking and curious about this machine, that may be something that you would consider moving forward when purchasing your own Breville Bambino. Okay? And so now, we're going to be talking about the first thing. The first thing that I do not like about this machine is the fact that this machine does not get relatively hot when brewing for pulling an espresso shot. What I mean by that is it states on the website that it has a built-in PID for 200 degrees. Yes and no. From my understanding is by the time it does pull from here at 200 degrees, by the time it gets into my coffee cup, it's roughly around 140 to 130, which is relatively warm, but I wouldn't say very hot. Okay, where on other machines I've seen, it definitely does pull much hotter, so this actually kind of affects the quality of the shot that you're pulling, especially when you want a more regulated temperature and more consistent 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Which I've noticed along with that is the type of coffee that you're able to pull a shot with. It's preferred to use a darker roasted coffee, something kind of like actually right here is a Lavazza Super Crema or something along those lines of something just a darker roast of coffee, okay? Lighter to medium roasts, I think you can get away with some medium roasts. Lighter roasts, it's a little bit difficult for this machine, especially if you want to pull a shot with a lot of crema. Something like a dark roast, you're going to produce a lot of crema on this machine. Medium to lighter roasts, depending on the quality of coffee and how fresh it is, it'll struggle, I feel, a little bit, and it'll also struggle in terms of taste with the Breville Bambino. Okay. And number 2 complaint of this machine is actually with the basket in the portafilter. Unfortunately, this machine does only come with a pressurized portafilter basket, and I had to go out of my way to buy a bottomless portafilter. Actually, this was gifted to me, but I was looking into buying a non-pressurized basket. Sorry, guys. And just to understand the fact that this costs $6 on their website, I feel that that is such an oversight and such a misstep by Breville that they wouldn't be able to incorporate something that's as little as $6 to a $300 machine, even though I understand it is their entry level. And I also do understand that the Breville Bambino Plus also has the same basket and no other options. But I feel like hopefully at some point they will improve on that and add it. It's just a $6 basket, and I feel like it makes a world of difference with your espresso shots. Okay? And speaking of the tools, this is my 3rd complaint with this machine, and that it is the fact that it comes with a very cheap portafilter and a very cheap tamper, and henceforth why I was looking at a distributing tool and a bottomless portafilter with this machine. I feel like these are very high quality things. And along with this machine, I understand that what comes in the box, okay, is just the machine, the portafilter, and the tamper. But I feel like even with the one that comes in the Bambino Plus and the Barista Express, they're a lot higher quality. They're made out of metal, even though they look the same. The one that comes on the Bambino Plus is actually really hollow, really thin, and it's a little hard to press into, and it makes it a little bit of inconsistencies. And for me personally, I've also noticed I had a tough time getting the angle right, sometimes over angle when tamping. And so it was just those little frustrations that I've noticed when just trying to pull a consistent shot. It wasn't like the best. So I felt like even with this, granted it is a distributor and tamp, but I've noticed much bigger improvements in consistency of the shot quality. Okay, and number 4 actually has to do with the steam arm. Actually, I have nothing to complain about in terms of the power, but what I do actually want to complain about with the steam arm, the steam one, sorry guys, is actually how it outputs the steam. Okay, initially, it's very fast and very powerful for what it is. It's actually a single tip, which is a little bit interesting in the beginning. It's actually not too bad to learn with, but the one complaint I do have with it, because when you do start steaming, it always has this tendency to shoot out water first, and it actually shoots out quite a bit of water, and it kind of starts to turn into this juggling act of right before it full steams and then putting it into the milk, because you don't want to inject too much water into your milk, because then it starts to create a very inconsistent milk froth. But I can show you guys right now what that stream of water would look like when you start to steam. So I'm going to press the button right now. And right here you have about 3 seconds. It's actually really fast to start operating. But as you guys can see right there, the amount of water that comes out right before you start to steam. And unfortunately, it is the same issue every single time, that no matter how much you try to do it, again, it just becomes a juggling act of trying not to get the water into your milk. Again, great power, really fast, and I really enjoy it, and it's a really proper steam wand. It's just, if that water issue could kind of be resolved, hopefully in like an updated model sometime soon, I think it would pay dividends for this machine. And for number 5 on this top 5 list of things I don't love about the Breville Bambino is that it forces you into a D scale. And I've noticed that this machine keeps count of every shot that you pull in order to recognize when that cycle for the D scale will start. And the thing I like about other machines that are a little bit higher end in the Breville lineup for their espressos, they actually have a button that would light up in terms of telling you when to clean or to descale the machine. Unfortunately, on this one, what would happen is that the double shot button will start to flash at you and will just continue to flash. And so much so that it forces you into doing the descale. And especially what I like to do with the machine, because I was complaining about from previous complaint, was that it doesn't get hot. So I like to do is I like to pull a single shot to warm up the basket and the portafilter, and then I like to pull my shot after putting the coffee in. And so then that would count actually as 2 shots to the machine. Again, I don't know the exact number, but again, it will force you into a forced descale to clean out your machine. And I understand that the recommended is 3 months to do a descale for these machines. But I feel that the amount of coffee that I drink, depending on the ratio of how many times you use this for espressos, it will vary. And I don't think that I was able to get within that 3-month span of having to descale, and the fact that it forces me to actually waste the water that I use, because it takes up about half of this tank of the reservoir to actually use the descale just to get the machine to start pulling another shot again. So I find that, again, slightly inconvenient, but I understand for the longevity of the machine what they're trying to accomplish, so that you could clean it in order to maintain it for the long haul. But again, not the biggest fan that they force you into it. Okay, guys? But yeah, I know this was just a little bit of a different, just a little take, but overall, I do absolutely love this machine. I would highly recommend this machine overall. And all in all, would I personally buy it again? Absolutely. I think this is a fantastic model for the entry-level espresso user, and especially for someone who isn't very fussy and just wants to just try to make something as best as they can in the morning without all of those crazy nuances. I feel like this is just for the everyday person. But again, I figured that if you are looking into this machine, I think it's something that maybe you should keep in mind when purchasing it, and just seeing how my personal thoughts are. Especially when I first got this machine, there wasn't a lot known about it, so I've had to come to learn these little nuances with the machine on my own, and just kind of like having some growing pains with it. And so I figured I'd share these with you guys. And again, thank you guys for tuning in and watching another video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.